Welcome to NFL Imperialism. You may have seen this concept floating around YouTube, but I wanted to put my own spin on it by going through every season in the Super Bowl era and hopefully improving upon it. Before we get going, I humbly ask that you consider subscribing to the channel and dinging that bell icon for notifications. This is the channel's primary series, but we do other things as well in both the sports and the entertainment world. We're so glad you're here. Thank you very much. If you're interested in a full thorough breakdown of how imperialism works, feel free to take a look at the first 3 or so minutes of our initial video of the 1966 season. That video is linked on its own in the description below. Right beneath that is a link to a playlist of all completed imperialism videos to date. Otherwise, we're ready to start. Today, we're diving into the 1991 season. In a sea of 49er and Cowboy Super Bowl championships, not to mention an all-time great champion in the 1985 Bears, was another thoroughly dominant, yet often forgotten Super Bowl champion in the 1991 Washington Redskins. In fact, according to our rankings, the 91 Redskins rank only behind those 85 Bears in the entire Super Bowl era, and it's pretty damn close. The Redskins rolled into the Super Bowl where they faced off against the defending AFC champion Buffalo Bills. While the Bills only lost by a single point the season before, they were completely undone by the Redskins despite the seemingly close 13-point margin. Clearly, the Redskins are the favorites to win imperialism as our number 1 ranked team, but the Bills don't show up in the top 5 at all. Could they still make their way to the title? Could another one of these top 5 teams pull off a surprise? Might even one of our bottom 5 teams shock the world? There's only one way to find out. It's time to play Imperialism 1991 style. Our first matchup is going to be between division rivals. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Cleveland to face the Browns. The Steelers have maintained control of this game throughout. They lead 17-3 in the third quarter. Neil O'Donnell steps up in the pocket, finds tight end Eric Green. He gets into the end zone for the touchdown. That will extend Pittsburgh's lead to 24-3. The Browns made some noise before the final whistle, but at the end of the day, they didn't have a chance in this one. The Steelers win 27-18. 1991 was the last season for legendary Steelers coach Chuck Noll. They get on the board with a win, and they're going to try to do more going forward. They take over the top half of Ohio, knocking the Browns out of the game. We get right back into it, and the wheel is going to stay in the state of Pennsylvania, and the arrow is going to make sure we stay in there. The Eagles are chosen, and the Steelers have to get right back on the field. This time, they'll be at home against Philly. The Steelers have cut a 14-3 lead down to 14-10 in the fourth quarter. Handoff goes to Barry Foster, swallowed up in the backfield by Reggie White and company. That's going to lead to a Steeler field goal attempt. They may have been inclined to go for it on fourth down, but it's too long. This kick from 40 yards by Gary Anderson is up, and it's good. That'll cut the lead down to 1. But the Eagles get the ball back. They're facing 3rd and 5 from the Steeler 43. Play action. Jim McMahon fires deep to Calvin Williams, and he gets it there. Williams goes down at the 11. The Eagles eventually will get it down to the 1-yard line, where Keith Byers will punch it in. That will extend the lead now to 21-13, but it's still a one-score game, and the Steelers have another chance. They've gotten it down to 4th and 5, 30-yard line. Foster up the middle. Again, it's blown up by Reggie White. What a game-changing talent White was during his day. The Eagles hold on and win 21-13. The Steelers were able to win this season's first game, but getting right back in for the second game proved too much. The Eagles win, they take over the Steeler territory, and that is the end of the legendary coaching career for Chuck Noll. The battle for New York/New Jersey is once again on. The Giants will host the Jets. This had been a tight game, but the Giants have started to pull away. From the Jet 25, Rodney Hampton goes up the middle, bulldozes a tackler, runs it all the way in for the touchdown. The Giants actually trailed 10-7 at the end of the first quarter. That touchdown there by Hampton makes this 31-13. The Giants will add one more for a final score of 38-13. Invading teams had won our first two games here in 1991. The Giants bucked that trend. They take the Jets off the map and they now own the entire state of New Jersey. We've started in the East and kept on heading east game by game. This wheel now lands on the 49ers. We went so far east, we came back out on the other side in the West. They will travel down to face the LA Raiders. The 49ers were completely undone in this game by former 49ers. This short screen pass to Roger Craig turns into a long touchdown. Then this errant pass from backup quarterback Steve Bono is intercepted by Ronnie Lott. The Niners try to track him down, but Lott takes off, runs it back in for the pick six. This took place in the second quarter, giving the Raiders a 14-0 lead, and the 49ers just simply never got on track in this one. They get blown away 34-3. The 90s have not yet been kind to the 49ers. They invaded the Raider territory and got pushed back with a vengeance. They are eliminated from this game. The Raiders take over their territory and knock out 1991's second-ranked team. Our next game is going to get us down to 5 eliminations. The Broncos have been chosen. They're going to head slightly to the northwest, but that's still going to catch the state of Utah, which is part of the territory of the Phoenix Cardinals. That game is next. The Cardinals have been hanging with the Broncos, but they've now got the ball inside the 5-yard line. Handoff goes to Steve Sewell. He's able to maneuver his way into the end zone. The Broncos extend their lead here in the fourth quarter to 20-10. They're going to add one more on before the end of things. 27-10 Broncos win. The Broncos historically haven't done great in Imperialism, but 1991's gotten off to a good start. They eliminate the Phoenix Cardinals, they take over their territory, and they have expanded their land westward. After all that expansion from coast to coast, it is once again the Broncos who must take the field and go on the road, this time into Dallas to face the Cowboys. The Cowboys trail by 4 in the fourth, and they're closing in on a touchdown here. This pitch left goes to Emmitt Smith. He's taken down, and with under 3 minutes to go, what will the Cowboys do? They're going to send out the kicker here for the field goal. They have a chance to take a lead here. Not 4th and goal, but they're going to kick. It is up, and it is good. They cut the lead to 1 point. But the Broncos get the ball, and they quickly drive it down to the Cowboy 31. Out of shotgun, John Elway fires it to Mark Jackson. He'll make the catch, get in for the end zone. Dallas gave up the momentum there. The Broncos extend to a 28-20 lead. The defense scores one before the game is over. The Broncos go into Dallas and win 35-20. We saw last season that the Chargers, from the bottom of the Imperialism standings, went on a run. Could the Broncos be doing the same here? With this win, they eliminate the Cowboys, take over their territory, and probably have the largest piece of land in the U.S. right now. We're set to get right back onto the field here. The Chargers are selected. They're going to head to the northeast, and the smallest area of land that they could have hit was the Raiders, but that's who they hit. The Chargers will travel to LA for this game. San Diego's defense has kept them in it to this point, but the Raiders are driving. This is going to be a reverse to Willie Gault, and that's just pure speed. jams it into the end zone. The Raiders extend their lead in the second half to 14-0. They would score again, and the Chargers would score very late to avoid the shutout. The Raiders take this one, 21-7. The reigning Imperialism champion Raiders have gotten off to a great start in 1991, especially defensively, only allowing a total of 10 points in their 2 victories. They take over the Chargers portion of Southern California and slightly expand their land. The wheel and the arrow are not letting up. We're getting another game here. The Bills are chosen. They'll be sent to the South. So, they're having trouble with NFC teams. Can they overcome that in Philadelphia against the Eagles? Not so much. The Eagles are kicking field goals and playing defense. They lead 16-7. Clyde Simmons picks up this safety. It's 18-7, and they have the ball again late in the third quarter. From the 26-yard line, Jim McMahon drops back. He's going to look for Calvin Williams, and he straight up drops it. That leads to a field goal. The Bills have some life. They trail 21-7. Touchdown pass goes to Keith McKellar. That's going to make it 21-13, and the Bills are going to go for 2. And Jim Kelly is going to once again look for McKellar. He makes the catch. Philly has it leading 21-15. They've been forced all the way back to 3rd and 29. Heath Sherman's going to take the pitch, try to get some more yards. He's going to pick up a bunch more. The Bills do take him down, though. They'll get it back at their own 35-minute, 42 to go. Jim Kelly looks deep to James Lofton. That's horribly overthrown. Wes Hopkins with the interception. The Eagles are going to run this clock out. It's 3rd and 2 at midfield, and they're actually throwing it. And McMahon looks for Fred Barnett, incomplete. Buffalo has a chance from their own 26. Kelly, he's going to look for Andre Reed, makes the catch, gets taken down. Last gasp for the Bills here, 25 seconds, their own 40-yard line. Play action, Kelly, he's going to go deep to Andre Reed. He makes the catch. The Eagles don't make the tackle as time expires. He runs into the end zone. Unbelievable comeback. The Bills are going to win this game by a final score of 22-21. The Eagles just looked allergic to winning this game. Unbelievable all around. The Bills will take over the Eagles' territory, and for a game like that, might the Bills be a team of destiny in 1991? What might this wheel have for us now? It's going to be the Lions. They're going to head slightly southwest. That takes them into the territory of the Indianapolis Colts. Even with an injured Barry Sanders, the Lions' offense has had its way. From their own 43, this pass goes to Willie Green, catches it in stride at the 36, and the Colts defense is nowhere to be found. A deep touchdown pass, 56 yards from Eric Kramer to Willie Green. The Lions handle their business the rest of the way through, pitching the shutout, winning 31-0. Well, there's a reason why the Colts were the lowest ranked team in 1991. The Lions actually appeared in the NFC Championship game this season, so they're not a bad team at all. They take over the state of Indiana, and they knock the Colts out of the game. We're about to have our first game down south. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be traveling to face the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta trailed 10-3 at the half, but have quickly moved it down to start the second half. This is Steve Broussard taking in the pitch from 2 yards out. Atlanta gets into the end zone for the first time, tying this game up at 10 apiece. It is now Tampa Bay's time to respond. They've taken it to Atlanta's 34. Vinny Testaverde fires it to Mark Carrier, beats the defense, is able to run him into the end zone. Tampa has now taken the lead right back, 17-10. Atlanta, still in the third quarter here, has taken it down to Tampa's 25-yard line. Chris Miller drops back, throws it deep to Mike Haynes. He will extend and make the catch, staying in bounds in the process. Not quite sure how he did that, but that's the call. We're tied at 17. We're now in the fourth quarter. Tampa, 2nd and 3, 12-yard line. Testaverde looks for tight end Ron Hall, gets it down just inside the 1-yard line. On the next play, Tampa's going to run it up the middle. That's Robert Wilson breaking the plane. Tampa back in the lead. Atlanta gets the ball. They have fallen to 4th and 6. Chris Miller is going to drop back to pass. He's looking deep to Andre Rison. Lots of coverage there, but Rison rises up to get it. Keeps everything alive here, but they've once again gone to 4th down. 4th and 11 this time. Miller, he's going to look again for Rison. This time it's much easier, and he scores. With 1:23 left, the Falcons have tied it at 24. Tampa still has time, though. They've taken it down to the 45-yard line. Only 12 seconds left. Reggie Cobb will take the handoff. He gets around the end. He's making some headway here. Gets down to the 10, spins away. They get him down at the 2-yard line. That would have been an amazing ending. As is, we're headed to overtime, tied at 24. The Falcons get the ball first. They've fallen down to 3rd and 18. I wonder if they're going to be looking for Andre Rison here. They are. The pass is deep. It's perfect. He makes the catch. Gets well into field goal range. Taken down at the 13-yard line. Atlanta is not wasting any time here on 1st down. They're going to try to end this. Norm Johnson is going to be a 32-yard kick. Not facing any pressure. He kicks it up. It's no good. Oh my goodness, Tampa guy's life. They're near midfield. Vinny Testaverde's going to hand it up the middle to Reggie Cobb and some fancy footwork. He breaks through past the 20 down to about the 16-yard line. Tampa also will not be wasting any time. A field goal attempt on 1st down. This is going to be from Steve Christie. 34 yards out for the win. Faces 0 pressure. It's good. What an incredible game that was. Tampa goes into Atlanta, escapes with a 27-24 overtime victory. Sometimes when you get a couple of teams that aren't exactly upper echelon, they can put together an amazing game, just like we saw here. The Buccaneers survive and advance. They take over the Atlanta Falcons territory, and only the Dolphins stand between them and a period of isolationism. The Raiders are heading to Denver to play the Broncos. Both of these teams have 2 victories and will look to become the first to grab their 3rd this season. Denver holds a 10-7 lead in the second half, and they have the ball. John Elway is going to be looking for Mark Jackson. Ronnie Lott swoops in, picks it off, and takes off. What a season Ronnie Lott had for the Raiders in 1991. It carries over into Imperialism. This will give the Raiders a 14-10 lead, and they're going to get the ball back on offense here in their own territory. 4th quarter now. Jay Schrader, he's going to look for Willie Gault, and another Hall of Fame safety makes the interception. Steve Atwater, he'll bring it back for the touchdown. Denver takes the lead back on their defensive touchdown, 17-14. They have the ball now on the Raider 38, 2:11 to go. John Elway, he's going to try for Mark Jackson again. Ronnie Lott's not there this time. He gets it down to about the 10-yard line. They run some clock. They kick the field goal. The Raiders couldn't do anything with it. Denver's going to win this game 20-14. Indeed, the Raiders and the Broncos were the only 2 teams with 2 wins coming into this game. The Broncos take this. They take over the Raiders' land. They've now picked up their 3rd Imperialism win of the season, something they've only ever done in the '85 campaign. And this wheel is going to be giving us our easiest spin. It's barely going to clip into the Dolphins' territory. That's going to send them into Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. With the first quarter winding down, Dolphins have a 1st and goal. Dan Marino's going to look for Mark Super Duper. He makes the catch. That's a touchdown. That will give the Dolphins a 14-0 lead. They had a little problem in this game. They go into Tampa and they take it by a final score of 34-7. The Buccaneers survived the thriller to get to this game, but once they had to play Miami, they didn't have a chance. The Dolphins take over their territory, and they're not in isolation. They're touching the Redskins ever so slightly, but they may as well be. After that game, we will now spin the wheel again and get the Chicago Bears. They're going to head to the east, slightly northeast. Either way, they're going to be taking on their division rival, the Detroit Lions. The Bears took control in the first half of this game with their running attack. They build a 17-8 lead. Here they are kicking off in the second half. Mel Gray is getting wrapped up, and Mike Singletary will force the fumble. The ball is loose, and that is kicker Kevin Butler running down, making the recovery and scoring. We've got a kicker touchdown, folks. The teams exchange touchdowns before the game ends. Chicago takes this with a 31-15 final. Invading teams are having their way in this season's Imperialism. The Bears keep that trend up. They take over the Lions' territory and expand their land. The bottom 3 Cincinnati Bengals are tasked to go and face the AFC champion Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. That said, Cincy was ready for a fight. This is a touchdown pass in the first quarter to Eddie Brown. Andre Reed quickly responds with one. Eddie Brown will get a second one. The Bengals lead 14-7 in the first half. The Bills do get a field goal before halftime, so 14-10 is our score. Buffalo has the ball, their own 32-yard line. This goes to Thurman Thomas, gets around left end, spins away, dodges a couple tackles, and gets it just down inside the 1-yard line. Buffalo will come out throwing. This pass will go to Kenneth Davis for the touchdown. Buffalo here in the second half will take its first lead, 17-14. The Bengals will be keen to respond, and respond they do from just inside midfield. Boomer Esiason, he's going to look for Eddie Brown, makes a diving catch down to the 30-yard line. That will lead to a field goal. We're tied up at 17 apiece. Buffalo now 3rd and 1 inside the 50. Handoff goes to Thurman Thomas, gets around the end, uses his speed. They're trying to catch up to him, and they do at the 13-yard line. Jim Kelly is under center. He is going to look downfield. He's going to find Andre Reed. Touchdown, his second of the game. The Bills, as the third quarter expires, take a 24-17 lead. The fireworks are just starting, though. Cincinnati takes it down to the 28-yard line. Play action. Eddie Brown. This is his third touchdown of the game. He's got the team on his back. We're tied up at 24. It's now Buffalo's turn. They have it in Cincinnati territory. Jim Kelly will drop back, throws to Andre Reed, makes the catch in double coverage. Now, next play from the 19. Kelly in the shotgun. Direct snap to Thurman Thomas. Bursts through the middle. No one's going to get him this time. The Bills score. They take a 7-point lead. They leave time on the clock for Cincinnati to strike back. They have taken it to the 39-yard line. They're moving slowly, but they're getting there. Esiason goes deep to Eddie Brown, leaps up, makes the catch, gets inside the 20, down to the 13. He finally goes down. 2:07 to go at the end of that play. It's now second down. From the 13, they've been going to Brown. This one goes to Harold Green, gets it to the 1-yard line. It's now second and goal. The Bengals shift into a pass play. The Bills break through. Mike Lodish will get this sack. So it's now third and goal. Could this be Eddie Brown time? Boomer looks to the other side. A perfect pass to Tim McGee. Boomer Esiason's 4th touchdown pass. Now Cincinnati scores and leaves time for the Bills. We're tied at 31. The Bills from their own 30-yard line, 1:06 to go. In the shotgun, Kelly throws to Thurman Thomas, wriggles away, runs it down to the 42, not quite field goal range. It's now 3rd down. Buffalo in the shotgun again. Kelly scans the field, throws the tight end. Keith McKellar gets it past the 20-yard line to the 12. That will set up a 30-yard field goal attempt by Scott Norwood. May he make this kick for the win. It's up. It is good. And a barn burner of a game ends with the Bills surviving at home against the Bengals 34-31. Throughout almost every Imperialism, the Cincinnati Bengals have been known for showing a lot of heart. They had no business being in this game, but they took it down to the end where they finally fell. The Buffalo Bills will take over their territory, and that is the 2nd thriller that they've won this season. There wasn't a whole lot of room for the Redskins to hit the Bills' territory, but as we can see on this photo finish, that arrow bypasses West Virginia. We're getting a Super Bowl rematch here. The Bills won their Super Bowl rematch in Imperialism last season against the Giants. Can they do it at home against this juggernaut Redskin team? Welcome to the OK Corral, because this game is a shootout. In the first half, each team exchanged touchdowns. The Redskins take their turn. Art Monk gets that one. Buffalo comes up. Kenneth Davis will get this one. We're tied at 14. Next up, Art Monk will get another one for Washington. And Buffalo will have the last word from Thurman Thomas. Going into the half, this game is going to be tied at 21. If you thought it was going to slow down, though, think again. Washington on their first drive. From their own 33-yard line, Ernest Biner goes up the middle, untouched past midfield. He is getting away from every different tackler that's trying to get a hold of him. He jumps away from that one. He will score a 67-yard touchdown. It's early in the second half. Washington leads 28-21. Here comes Buffalo. They're on their own 47-yard line. Around left end, Thurman Thomas is just getting it done on that play. They've got a hold of him, but he breaks a tackle, and the 1991 NFL MVP will score himself on a very long run. We're not even halfway through the third quarter. We're tied at 28. Here comes Washington, though. From their own 39-yard line, Biner up the middle. This is not a replay. This is an entirely different play. There goes Biner. He breaks a tackle. He's selling us short here. This one was only a 61-yard touchdown. 35-28 is the score. Now there's been some defense. We've gotten into the fourth quarter. The Bills are backed up facing 3rd and 8. Jim Kelly will find Keith McKellar. He'll get the first down and a little bit more. Buffalo is moving, trying to get this game tied up. 1st and 10, inside the 50. Washington brings the defense up. It's play action, quick pass to Andre Reed. He'll pick up some yardage here, getting away from all sorts of people, gets it down to the 20-yard line. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line now. A delayed pitch to Kenneth Davis. The ball hits the ground, but he scoops it back up. The game glitches just for a split second, but he does have the ball, and he gets across the goal line for the touchdown. Incredible play there. He's getting credited with a recovered fumble touchdown there. Here is the extra point. Don't tell me he's going to miss this. He doesn't. It gets blocked. Oh my goodness. Now Washington has it 3rd and 1. The pitch to Biner. The Bills are wise to it. They make the stop and get it back. Under a minute to go. Jim Kelly is going to hand it to Kenneth Davis. It looks like they're trying to get into field goal range. That won't do it on its own. 34 seconds to go. This handoff goes around right end to Thurman Thomas. He will get a lot of yardage here. gets it down to the 24-yard line. 15 seconds to go as time is ticking away. They're going to bring out Norwood. 11 seconds left, just like in the last game. A longer kick here. 43 yards for the win. The pressure comes and it's blocked. And 2 blocked kicks is going to decide this game. Final score, Washington goes into Buffalo, wins it by a single point, 35-34. This imperialism will be lesser by not having the Bills in it anymore. In 3 games, they've given us a total margin of victory of 5 points. The Redskins will take over their territory. We must reiterate, they're not just the number 1 ranked team this season. They're the number 2 ranked team in the Super Bowl era, and they just barely got away with this win. Can we possibly match or even surpass all that excitement? The Seahawks and the Broncos are going to give it a chance. That is the wheel-arrow combination for this one. Well, that was always going to be a tough ask. Denver leads 14-0 in the fourth quarter. John Elway is going to look for Mark Jackson in the end zone. Makes the catch. That's going to extend their lead to 21-0. The Seahawks made some noise before the game was over, but to no avail. The Broncos hold on and win this game at home 21-10. So for all the craziness happening out east, it's the Broncos who have the most land out west. They take over the Seahawks territory, and that land gets much, much bigger. Our next spin is going to be a close call. It's just going to stay with the Bears. The arrow is also a close call. Had that been straight west, no problem, Minnesota. But with the slight dip south, we needed to check. And this photo finish tells us it will still be Minnesota. The Vikings will host the Bears. The Bears have let the Vikings get back in this game after leading 14-0. At 14-10, though, Neil Anderson's going to score this touchdown to give Chicago a little bit more comfort. That's going to make the score 21-10. The Vikings attempted a comeback, but this pass by Rich Gannon is intercepted by the Bears' Lemuel Stinson, and the Bears are going to hold on to that 21-10 score as a final. The Vikings waited till late to get into the game, but once they did, they were unable to hold the homeland. The Bears take over their territory, and the Packers now join the Rams as teams who have yet to see the field, who are also enveloped by one team. The Redskins are going to have another chance to take the field. This time they're going to be at home against the Miami Dolphins. The Redskins' defense came to play in this one. They gave up a field goal on Miami's opening drive, but have taken over since then offensively. Mark Rippon on the play action will find Art Monk having himself a great season in 1991 Imperialism. That's going to give the Redskins a 14-3 halftime lead. The defense clenched down the rest of the way. Final score in this one, 27-3 Washington. After barely escaping with their lives in their first game, the Redskins take complete control here. They'll take over the Dolphins' territory. That will now take us down to 10 teams, and amazingly, 6 of them have not seen the field, and 5 have yet to be heard from at all. Will the wheel select one of our neglected teams? Yes, it will. The LA Rams, who are completely enveloped by the Denver Broncos. That's where they're headed to play this game. The Rams jumped out to a 14-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, but that's not the case anymore. The Broncos lead by 1 here. This touchdown pass to Mike Young, he does break the plane there, will extend the Bronco lead to 22-14. They thoroughly dominated after the first quarter, winning by a final score of 39-14. Even though the Broncos have played in an Imperialism championship game before, this is by far the best run they've ever had. They wipe off what's left of California, taking over the Rams' territory, and they look like a juggernaut in the West. The wheel finally sees fit to select the Patriots. Their reward? They gotta go to Washington and play the Redskins. Washington was mostly playing with its food in this one. They lead 20-3 in the fourth quarter. This reverse goes to Gary Clark. He gets around the end and he's going to outrun the Patriot defense straight into the end zone. This will give the Redskins a 27-3 lead. That lead's going to hold. As a matter of fact, that exact score is going to hold. And once again, the Redskins defense came to play in this one. Not a whole lot of land for the Redskins to pick up here, but they will indeed pick it up, and they've knocked those pesky Patriots out of the game. After an early appearance, the Giants are back, but they have to play at Washington against the Redskins. The Giants got something going on their opening drive but came up empty. The Redskins will not do that. They will score. Ernest Biner plunges in from a yard out. That gives Washington a 7-0 lead. Those were the winning points. The Redskins absolutely decimated the Giants in this game, 49-0. After surviving a 1-point victory in their first game, the Redskins train is now chugging along nicely. They seem to have saved their cruelty for their NFC East brethren. They take the Giants out of the game, they take over their territory, and the entire East Coast, minus some unclaimed lands, is now Washington Redskin territory. Just 7 teams remain, still many that haven't played. The Oilers are one such team, and so are the Saints, who they'll be invading. This is actually a top 5 matchup. These two teams just haven't got on the field yet. Let's see how it turns out. The Saints are in control at home. It's the third quarter. They lead 14-3. This handoff off left end goes to Gil Fenerty. Hasn't had much of a game to this point, but he makes up for it here. 31-yard touchdown run to give the Saints a fairly commanding 21-3 lead. The Oilers saved their blushes just a little bit by getting into the end zone, but it wasn't enough. The Saints hold on 21-10. With Denver dominating in the West and Washington dominating in the East, it's easy to forget there's some quality here in the middle. The Saints are one such team. They defeat the Oilers, they take them off the map, and they may prove a problem going forward for one of these two major contenders. As we close in on the end, the Broncos are going to give us a photo finish. We can see that will catch the New Orleans Saints territory, so they're right back on the field welcoming the red-hot Broncos. Denver leads 7-3 in the second quarter on the edge of the goal line, third down. Pitch to Gaston Green, he works his way into the end zone. The Broncos extend to a double-digit lead here, 14-3. Their defense forces a very quick 3-and-out, and with 34 seconds left in the half, they're looking for more. Elway drops back, looks for Shannon Sharp. That's intercepted by Toy Cook. He gets free, gets to about midfield. They got a hold of him. He breaks free again, and this is a nightmare scenario for the Broncos. Time expires in the half. Toy Cook with the pick six, making it 14-10. That's going to be our score still in the fourth quarter. Denver trying to put it away, but they're facing a 3rd and 30. The quick pass to Shannon Sharp won't get it done, so the Saints now have it. Backed up with their own 18, it's third down. Bobby Hebert is going to look for Quinn Early here. Early makes the catch, keeping the drive alive. Next play, 1:18 to go. In the shotgun, Hebert is going to look for fullback Buford Jordan. Picks up 9 yards, keeps the drive moving, 1 minute to go. Second and short, the pitch goes to Jordan. He'll get the first down, picks up about 9 yards there. 45 seconds to go. They're going to need something here. A field goal won't do it. Play action. Going for Jordan again, and it's intercepted by Steve Atwater. That'll put it away. Nobody could score in the second half. Denver maintains, winning it 14-10. Home teams had held their ground for the last 6 consecutive games. The Broncos will break that streak here, going into New Orleans, winning this game, taking them off the map. With the elimination of that top 5 team, we're now down to just 5 teams. The Green Bay Packers are surrounded. That will send them to face the Chicago Bears, and only the Kansas City Chiefs now have yet to see the field. The Bears had trouble all day holding onto the ball, literally fumbling 4 times. The Packers are taking advantage of these situations. This is a deep pass to receiver Perry Kemp, makes the catch from former Bear quarterback Mike Tomczak. That will give the Packers a 21-7 lead, and in surprising yet dominant fashion, they go into Chicago and win this game 35-7. The 91 season was a transition season for the Packers. The next season they would hire Mike Holmgren and have been pretty good ever since. This team, however, gets a win in Imperialism. They take over the Chicago Bears territory and they make headway into the Final Four. The Green Bay Packers did very well to earn a victory in Chicago. Now, they've got to go earn a victory in Washington. The Redskins await. Skins lead 7-0 in the second quarter. They're right at the 20-yard line. Draw play to Ernest Biner, bursts through the middle, cuts to the right, and is able to take it all the way in for the touchdown. Biner had his way with this defense. He played excellently, as did his team. 14-0 lead here. Green Bay avoids the shutout with a third quarter field goal, but the Redskins win this game 24-3. That's now Washington's 4th home game in this Imperialism, and in those 4 games they've allowed 3 field goals and 0 touchdowns. The Packers gave it a go, but they're out of the game. The Redskins will take over their territory, and they have dominated, the Broncos have dominated, and the Chiefs are sitting there right in the middle trying to exploit the party. And finally, after all this time, we're going to land on the Chiefs. Where are they going? Southeast. That's going to take them into the Broncos territory. A little further north would have hit the Redskins. That will put the Redskins in the championship game. Which team will they face? This game will be in Denver. The Chiefs are in complete control in the first half through their power running game. Barry Ward and Christian Okoye doing the heavy lifting. That opened up the passing game. This touchdown pass went to Rob Thomas. This one went to Tim Barnett, making an excellent diving catch. The Chiefs have a 14-0 lead that they took into halftime. The Broncos must now respond. They've taken it down to 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Play action. Elway is going to find tailback Gaston Green for the touchdown. Hugely important there, keeping the Broncos in this game at 14-7. They have the ball now in the 4th quarter, deep in their own territory, going forward on 4th and 8. Elway is going to look for Mark Jackson, and it's knocked away. The Chiefs will take over. They've run it down to the 10-yard line. This draw play goes to Barry Ward, breaks a tackle, breaks the guy while he's at it, gets into the end zone. The Chiefs reestablish a 14-point lead at 21-7. The Broncos will not go away, though. They've driven it down to the Chief 14-yard line, 2:01. Elway looks for Steve Sewell. He catches the ball and bullies his way into the end zone. That's going to make this a 1-score game, but the Broncos are going to go for 2 here, down 21-13. In the shotgun, Elway's going to take off, and the Chiefs are all over it. They get him down. 21-13 remains the score. Here is the onside kick. That ball is just sitting there waiting to be recovered, and the Broncos get it. Okay, they now face 4th and 7, 1:24 to go. The Chiefs back up their defense. The Broncos are going to throw. This goes to Mike Young in double coverage. He makes the catch. The very next play, the Broncos have renewed life. Just over a minute to go. Elway is going to look for Shannon Sharp. He's alone, makes the catch. Touchdown, Denver. What a turnaround this has become It's now 21-19, and based on the missed two-pointer earlier, they're going to go for two again to tie this up. The handoff up the middle to Steve Sewell. It looks like he has daylight, but they stop him. So the Broncos are going to onside kick it again, and once again they will recover. What a comeback this would be. 3rd and 10, audible by both teams. The Chiefs back it up, so the Broncos are going to run it to Steve Sewell as time ticks away. He's going to try to get him into field goal range. This would be a 50-yarder with 9 seconds to go, but they're going to bring the offense out anyway. No field goal attempt here. 6 seconds to go. This is the game. Elway backs up. He's going to throw to Mark Jackson. It's short of the end zone. Incomplete anyway. And the valiant comeback effort of the Broncos comes up short. And the Chiefs survive. 21-19. The nature of imperialism sometimes is that a team chugs along all the way through, and then another team comes in and snipes them at the last moment. That's exactly what happened here. The Chiefs go into Denver, win this game, and place themselves into the Imperialism Championship game against 1991's champion, the Washington Redskins. This is the Redskins' first title game appearance since winning it in '72. For the Chiefs, it's their first title game appearance since the very first Imperialism in 1966. Let's spin this wheel and find out who's going where. And it's going to land on the Chiefs. They're going to travel to Washington, D.C. 1991's Imperialism Championship game is next. The Chiefs on their opening possession, once again with the threat of their running game, use the deep pass. This is Steve DeBerg to Rob Thomas. He's going to get it down to the 22-23 yard line. It is now 3rd and goal from the 10. DeBerg drops back. He's going to look for Barry Word. He makes the catch, but he's short. That's going to bring Nick Lowery out. The Chiefs draw first blood. It's 3-0. The Redskins now in the second quarter have 3rd down from the 9 yard line. Mark Rippon tries to sneak it in. That doesn't work. Chip Lohmiller will kick a field goal. We're tied at 3. A defensive battle heading into halftime. 1:07 to go. The Chiefs drop back the pass. Fred Stokes breaks through the line and gets the sack. That'll give the Redskins the ball back. They have it at the Chief 43, under a minute to go. Play action. Mark Rippon looks deep to Art Monk. He'll make the catch, pick up some extra yardage. They're in field goal range, but they're going to take their shot at the end zone here. From the 11 yard line, Rippon will look for Gary Clark, stops and makes the catch. That'll give Washington the first touchdown of this game. That'll put them up by a score of 9-3, and it's going to stay 9-3 because the subsequent extra point was blocked. The Chiefs in the second half wake up their passing attack. That one goes to Rob Thomas. This one here is going to go to Barry Word. And after a run by Word, this pass is going to go to Rob Thomas for the touchdown. The first touchdown Washington's given up at home in this Imperialism. Extra points good. The Chiefs lead 10-9, but Washington, they're not going to sit back and take it. 3rd and 4 from the Chief 12 yard line. They pressure, but it's picked up. The pass goes to Ricky Sanders for the first down. Great play by the Redskins O-line there. 2nd and goal from the 9. The pitch will go to Ernest Biner. Evasive around everybody. He scores. Washington takes back the lead 16-10. It's now on the Chiefs to try to make a comeback. From their own 35, the third quarter ticking away. DeBerg is going to try to force a pass to Christian Okoye. Brad Edwards, having a huge game, makes that interception. Changing sides now in the fourth quarter. From the 29 yard line. Play action. We've seen this play before. Art Monk makes the catch. Touchdown. Washington gives itself its first 2-score lead of this game, 23-10. The Chiefs are in desperate straits here. 4th and 15 in the fourth quarter. DeBerg once again is going to try to dump it off to his tailbacks. That doesn't work. The Redskins clamp it down. They win this game. They win the championship, 23-10. And what a show there by Washington. Remember, that first game they played, they barely beat Buffalo by a single point. They got the rest of their games at home, and in those 5 games, they allowed a total of 19 points. Hail to the Redskins, the 7th team to win the Super Bowl and Imperialism in the same season. Super Bowl 26 between the Washington Redskins and the Buffalo Bills wasn't a particularly compelling game, with Washington taking care of business rather handily. That wasn't the case when they met up in Imperialism though, with the Redskins winning again, but in a thriller. They carried that into the title game where they met up with the Kansas City Chiefs. The powerhouse Redskins won that game and won the day, taking the Imperialism Championship to pair with that Super Bowl win. This Redskins roster was stacked from top to bottom. Mark Rippon had the season of his life with his 3-receiver attack of Ricky Sanders, Art Monk, and Gary Clark. Ernest Biner was the primary runner, but as most people would know, everything ran through that amazing offensive line, lovingly known as the Hogs. The defense is littered with several Hall of Excellent players who had amazing seasons, such as Charles Mann, Wilber Marshall, and Matt Millen, and one actual Hall of Famer in cornerback Darryl Green. This was an absolute unit that congealed incredibly for one glorious season. The first half of games saw their share of upsets and close games, including a wild comeback by the Bills against the Eagles. The wildness continued once we got going in the second half of games, again involving the Bills, with their victory over the Bengals and their loss to the Redskins. All the while, the Broncos kept winning until they ran up against Kansas City. The Chiefs nearly stole the title, but couldn't get the win over Washington. And it was indeed the Redskins and the Broncos who ruled the roost with 6 wins apiece in 1991 Imperialism. Nobody else was even able to reach 3, although the Bills and the Raiders certainly gave it a challenge. The overall standings look remarkably similar at the top, as each of the top 4 teams went one and done in 91. The Redskins surged to 5th place on the back of their 6 wins, and the Broncos jumped out from the bottom on the back of their 6 wins, restoring the Chargers to that spot, discounting the 1976 expansion teams. Thank you so much for watching our latest Imperialism. We look forward to getting 1992 out for you soon. If you'd consider liking and sharing the video, it would go a long way to helping out the channel. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. After back-to-back Imperialism titles in 1971 and 1972, the Washington Redskins come back to win it all again in 1991, the greatest Redskins season on record. It might be a while, if ever, before they rise to this level again, given the turmoil the franchise would eventually undergo. But all that said, they've covered this map in burgundy and gold. Thank you once again for joining us, and until next time, I hope you have an awesome day.